Adrenogenital syndrome or congenital adrenal hyperplasia refer to a group of autosomal recessive disorder which include enzyme deficiency resulting in primary cortisol biosynthesis in adrenal steroidogenesis pathway. The congenital adrenal hyperplasia is divided into two primary types, is classical and non-classical, and non-classical is more common. Based on neonatal screening, incidence of congenital adrenal hyperplasia due to 21 hydroxylase deficiency is 1 of to 14,000 live births in the worldwide. There are different clinical manifestations of congenital adrenal hyperplasia depend on nature and severity of the enzyme deficiency. With several treatments that can be done on congenital adrenal hyperplasia, such as hormonal replacement. And before on the information before the congenital adrenal hyperplasia is still a worldwide problem. And next, this is some problem will be discussed in our student project. And next is goals that we want to achieve and the benefit from this student project. Next.
Congenital adrenal hyperplasia, or CAH, refers to a group of genetic disorders that affect the adrenal glands, a pair of walnut-sized organs above the kidneys. The production of cortisol in the zona fasciculata of adrenal cortex occurs in 5 major enzyme-mediated steps. CAH results from deficiency in any of these enzymes, and congenital adrenal hyperplasia is the most common adrenal disorder in infancy and childhood.
So, congenital adrenal hyperplasia is lacking of epidemiological data due to its rarity, especially in Indonesia that is lacking in epidemiological study. Incidence of classical congenital adrenal hyperplasia vary among ethnicity, and for Asians and white infants, the incidence is 1 in 15,500. And most cases of congenital adrenal hyperplasia are due to 21 hydroxylase deficiency. In the largest epidemiological study, the incidence of congenital adrenal hyperplasia in most population is 1 in 15,000, and the patients were more affected with the severe form, with women were more affected than men.
Congenital adrenal hyperplasia is a recessive disorder that derives from mutation or deletion of 21 hydroxylase. This process will lead to 21 hydroxylase deficiency and decrease our cortisol and aldosterone level in our body. Compensation of this mechanism is higher level of testosterone in our body and will lead to virilization.
So now I will explain about type of CAH. There are two types, classic and non-classic CAH. The first one, classic CAH, known as early onset, is found in early childhood or during infancy. This form is rare. It is divided into two big groups by the etiology, 21 hydroxylase deficiency and 11 hydroxylase deficiency. For example, in 21 OHD, CAH will cause increasing production of adrenal androgen and androgen excess and postnatal virilation. The second type is non-classic, known as late onset CAH, is usually found in early adulthood. The case is more common and milder than classic CAH. In early life, it has no signs and symptoms. And CAH is caused by overresponsive glucocorticoid response to ACTH, and excessive adrenal androgen secretion result from the alteration in enzyme kinetic due to the CYP21A2 mutation. Those mechanisms will cause NCAH symptoms to appear in adulthood.
Okay, let's talk about the pathophysiology. So, adrenogenital syndrome is an autosomal recessive disorder caused by deficiency in adrenal steroid synthase enzyme, which is responsible for producing cortisol. Because of overall lack of adrenal steroid synthesis, low cortisol level reduces negative feedback on pituitary system, causing increase in adrenocorticotropic hormone release, which stimulate and cause hyperplasia of adrenal glands. Okay, next slide. Depending on which enzyme is affected, adrenogenital syndrome is divided into 3 subtypes: 21 beta hydroxylate, 11 beta hydroxylate, and 17 alpha hydroxylate.
Classical 21OH deficiency is conventionally classified into two types. Both of them reflect the severity of aldosterone deficiency. Excess androgens are the signs and symptoms are used to diagnose, and other symptoms are premature growth of pubic hair and skeletal growth in children that occurs rapidly is due to excess postnatal androgens. Next slide. For the non-classical signs and symptoms, female patient will be born with normal genitals, but later on the signs and symptoms can vary widely. And in male patient, there may be an initial beard growth and a relatively small testicle size, but usually the amount of sperm produced by the patient is normal. In children, will usually present with premature puberty symptoms such as a development of pubic hair, armpit hair, and or increased apocrine odor before 8 years old in girls and before 9 years old in boys. Additional symptoms that will develop in children include tall stature, rapid linear growth, and advanced skeletal maturation.
Next is the risk factor of CAH. There are two risk factors of CAH. The first is genetics. CAH is inherited in autosomal recessive pattern. The disorder occurs when an individual inherits the abnormal genes from both the parents. If an individual receives one normal and one abnormal gene from the parents, the person will be carrier. The second is ethnic, such as Ashkenazi Jew, Hispanic, Italian, Yugoslav, Yupik Inuit have higher risk of CAH.
Basically, every patient with this syndrome can be identified by inspection, and clinician must clearly identify the patient history to find some regulation imbalance potential. One example of the diagnosis is checking plasma level of 17-alpha-hydroxyprogesterone or 17-OHP with a paper blood spot using Guthrie-Cart's filter paper, with adrenocorticotropic stimulation test as the gold standard. The positive result from the diagnosis will be obtained if it is done more than once and successful to ruling out some differential diagnoses, such as phenylketonuria and cystic fibrosis. Another method that can be carried out is genetic testing, which can determine severity degree based on the genotype result with a different approach. Example that can be given is infant patient have a 17-OHP based direct fluoroimmunoassay screening process, and further examination in adults is to take routine measurement of 17-OHP enzyme for ruling out early differential diagnosis.
Here are the goals of congenital adrenal hyperplasia treatments. They aim to achieve a normal linear growth rate and normal rate of bone maturation. Treatments also meant to achieve the development of spontaneous puberty in a timely manner. Whereas in adult women, the treatments focus on increasing the potential of fertility, normal menstrual cycles, and also prevention of hirsutism. For patients with non-classic congenital adrenal hyperplasia, the treatment needs to be focused on individual symptoms and should not be started solely on lowering the abnormally elevated hormone concentrations.
Hydrocortisone is a temporary choice of glucocorticoids in infants, children, and adolescents. It's given at a dose of 6 until 15 milligrams per meter square per day and is usually given 3 times a day. Prednisolone and dexamethasone have been considered in adult patients because they have a longer half-life, requiring less frequent dose and improving adherence. The administration schedule varies depending on the regimen given. Hydrocortisone is given 3 times a day, prednisolone twice a day, and dexamethasone once a day. Mineralocorticoid replacement therapy includes treatment with 9-alpha-fludrocortisone acetate, which aims to achieve age-appropriate plasma renin activity. The parameters used to assess the adequacy of mineralocorticoid replacement therapy are monitoring blood pressure to avoid hypertension and plasma renin activity.
My name is Leonardo Abadias with relation number 120. Complication. So, patient with congenital adrenal hyperplasia should undergo long-term glucocorticoid medication, and this has some bad effect, especially in children with congenital adrenal hyperplasia who receive glucocorticoid medication are at risk of growth impairment and short head. Excess glucocorticoid also associated with reduction in blood mineral density, leading to osteoporosis. Patients with hypogonadal forms of congenital adrenal hyperplasia have infertility. In the releasing forms, adrenal sex steroid excess can lead to hypogonadotropic hypogonadism, and in women, increased progesterone can cause interference in endometrial implantation. Patients with congenital adrenal hyperplasia have increased systolic blood pressure, diastolic blood pressure, insulin resistant, and carotid intima thickness compared to individuals without congenital adrenal hyperplasia, and they have increased risk of cardiovascular event and metabolic disease. Thank you.
Congenital adrenal hyperplasia is genetic disorders that affect adrenal glands. The incidence is 1 in 12,000 to 15,000 births. Congenital adrenal hyperplasia can be divided into two primary types, classic and non-classic. In classic type, the onset is in early childhood or infancy, while in non-classic, the onset is in early adulthood. The risk factors are two for congenital adrenal hyperplasia, which are ethnic and genetic. The symptoms are premature growth of pubic hair and skeletal growth, hirsutism, frontal baldness, delayed menarche, irregular menstruation, infertility, and small testicles. The treatment for congenital adrenal hyperplasia is long-term glucocorticoid, while the complication of long-term glucocorticoid is growth impairment and short height, reduction in bone mineral density, increased amount of fat mass and insulin level, striae, hyperglycemia, cataracts, hypertension, and hypokalemi.